The basketball game that Louisville fans just witnessed was something that can be season-changing, somewhat season-defining, and definitely changes about how Pat Kelsey will be viewed and handled with the Louisville fan base. What's cooking? Welcome back into another edition of ESPN Louisville Plus Instant Reaction, where I react to the game that was the game that happened. I'm Justin Soforo, and today I've got you post Louisville, Virginia, and in a game that really kind of gets to the core of why I get frustrated sometimes with Pat Kelsey and his offensive-minded philosophy, especially coming off many great, illustrious years under Rick Pitino a decade ago. Never could I imagine that I'd be sitting in a spot where I'm sitting today thinking of Louisville basketball as a freaking embarrassment when it comes to defense. Just the lack of physicality, the lack of effort, the lack of toughness that Louisville basketball shows on defense is abhorrent. And I think it's something right now that Pat Kelsey's going to have to work on and in a real big hurry. Unfortunately, Louisville basketball falls to Virginia at home in a game where it never was really that close. They made a couple runs there, but finishing the game 78-70, in which they saw Louisville start the game with a 14-0 drought before Pat Kelsey even decided to take his first timeout and say enough was enough. Louisville has to get back in gear, and that was the time. Unfortunately, you had a couple guys just not shooting, or the entire team not shooting well. I could go multiple different aspects. Do I want to go with the shooting? Do I want to go with the defense? Do I want to go with the big men? Do I want to go with the backcourt? Whatever it is, it's all wrong. Nothing's right. Louisville did get Ryan Conwell back, and obviously he did come back and have a somewhat okay performance, 14 points. But of course, the former Virginia man was the guy who led the way, so no wrath will be given to Isaac McKneely today. But as a team, Louisville basketball shooting 26% from three, while Virginia shot 41%, 14 for 34, Louisville 10 for 38. And this is the part where with me and Pat Kelsey, things have got to get shifted. Something about your philosophy. There is some truth to the live by the three, die by the three. And right now, Louisville's doing a lot of dying by the three. And to get embarrassed like that against Virginia at home, in a Virginia team no longer under Tony Bennett, under new coach Ryan Odom, who I think is a very, very mid team. I think they're fine, but I think when it comes to the teams that you were hoping and striving to compete against, you want to talk about Louisville basketball trying to compete for a national title, that dream is done this year. I mean, if it wasn't already losing on the road at Stanford, I don't know where we go from here. But additionally, Louisville basketball, now that they lose at home to Virginia, you're looking at the ACC slate, and as long as Michael Brown sits on that bench, and they got his cute little jersey on. I'm glad he got his jersey, even though he wasn't good to go, is not playing. And whether he has a severe back injury, and if he ever plays again for the University of Louisville, I don't know. But I'm sorry, that is not the excuse that you come at me with of the reason that Louisville basketball cannot compete at this point against some of the better perceived teams in the nation. I don't care what Virginia is ranked right now. Louisville basketball should not struggle against that team, and they did handily at home. Let's just go back to the defense, and that's where my biggest problem sits, because if the threes aren't falling, you have to dig in on defense. You have to be pestering. You have to stop. You have to not give them good looks left and right. You have to not leave guys open for layups. And I'm frustrated right now. I'm not in a clear mindset right now. I'm really angry. If it wasn't clear already, but this is a really frustrating situation. And Pat Kelsey, they love to throw that cute little quote up there about during these tough times, that really gets the juices flowing for him. Well, I'll tell you where they're not flowing right now, and that's in his brain as a coach, and that's where I have a lot of frustration. What are you doing to develop these teams and get them ready for moments like this? What are you doing defensively during practice? Are you just getting up shots week in and week out? Is that all we really care about? And as much as I love having a team that supposedly is a great three-point shooting team and is able to do that. If they're not doing that, the game is lost already. The game is lost when as soon as you hit less than 30% or 35% from three, the game is over for this team. And I have no idea where this team can come back from. I have no idea where this team can go for the rest of the season. And it's a situation that I am very, very bleak in any kind of my expectations for the season out. And I've seen multiple people put this out there. I can kind of understand the thought and the idea that people are feeling like checking out on this season, because it really feels like at this point in time that there is nothing to really check in for, because you kind of know what you're going to get or what you're not going to get. And you're not going to get a consistent defensive team or any kind of big man play. Case in Pryor is absolutely useless at this point. And Andrew can do a couple of things, but he's still not the quality big man that you need to win a national title. Louisville basketball has got a long way to go. And say what you will about Virginia and the history there with Virginia, that this is not your granddaddy's Virginia. This is not one of those situations. I don't know. I guess at this point, I'm kind of at a loss for words. If you have better words to say and better feelings and some kind of positivity that you can take away from this game, you let me know in the comment section. And then we'll come back here when I do the next live stream or when the gas bags come on tomorrow. Then we can actually have, I guess, a better discussion about where this team can go. But for right now, all I can see is guys aren't hitting threes. And when they're not hitting threes, the game is lost already. There's no chance. If it's an off day, there's no chance that they can just gut out a win. And that bothers me. That is soft as Charmin. That is soft as Jet Puff. That is baby soft. I don't know. Anyway, that's what Louisville basketball is right now. Unfortunately, it appears that the Commonwealth does not have really good basketball being played. And that's on Pat Kelsey, and it's on Pat Kelsey to try to figure this out and get this ship right and find something. My first thing, I don't care. Go back to practice. The first thing I want you to do is figure out how to get this team to click defensively. Do you need to bring in another staff member who can teach a freaking defense? Can you adjust into a zone defense that'll work? Whatever it is, I don't know. Like, yeah, some of the guys are hitting open or shots that are heavily defended, but I don't think anything's really heavily defended by this team. So I'm sorry. I'm angry. I'm not happy. Maybe a lot of people aren't going to like the thoughts and opinions coming from this one, but that's just where I sit with this. Nothing from this game felt like something that you could really build upon. And that's kind of unfortunate because it feels like we're on a downward spiral for Louisville basketball. And it's still the early part of the ACC. Yeah, there's time for him to build this thing back up and get Louisville where it can be. But nothing about this team says that you can push to win. Get to a Final Four. There's nothing that tells me now that I even expect that he can go out there and win his first NCAA tournament game. Last year's team looked like a better team than what Louisville basketball has right now. So, again, frustrated. A lot that hopefully will change and hopefully they can see it change. But right now, I just don't have that kind of positivity in me. So that's where we sit. That's my instant reaction. Guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. If you think I am completely off base, if you think that I'm completely wrong, let me know and let me have it in the comment section down below. If you haven't already, do me a solid favor. Smash the freaking like button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. You can follow me at Justin Soforo and tell me just how dumb and wrong I am. So let me know there. And of course, you can follow ESPN 680, 93 the Ville, all that good stuff, all the other platforms. Anyway, guys, I'll see you next time. Hopefully, better moments, better games are ahead in the rest of the season. Go Cards.